What is up, Xeon Sailors? I am just a simple Newtype, and in this episode we are returning to the tales of Flanagan Boone. Last time the Mad Angler made it to the surface. Uzo went to save Godard and the Grublow, but ended up dying from a freak accident. She seemed to know something about Char's involvement with Garma's death, and Char personally joins the Mad Angler team. This time, Boone's team goes up against a white Gogg. His interrogation against Saqua turns into sexy time, and we learn why Gia Ever is actually on this mission. So let's get into this. They are following a lead that was given by Saqua. She and Ameria argue with one another. Ameria says that the Antarctic Treaty will forgive her, but she won't for killing her uncle. Boone will be freed from his demons in 25 days. As the crew makes their way towards the Arctic, the temperature begins to drop. 24 days. They have to check the hull with the temperature change to ensure no damage was done. Lieutenant Connolly takes a pic with the whale. Martha inspects the engine bay. 23 days. Boone looks through his periscope. He sees debris and his paranoia starts to intensify. 22 days until his demons are free. They pass through the Bering Strait. This chapter is told through photos over the past couple days. We learn this person taking the photos is Gia Ever. He is charming the culinary team on board. He gives Boone a picture and tells him that the Mad Angler will be remembered for generations. They're amazed at how it feels like a spaceship instead of your typical tightly cramped sub like the Yukon. Because of this conversation, you think they're in the Mad Angler? But no, they're in a Yukon. Gia Ever says that since this war is his job, he might as well enjoy it. In a rare instance, Boone smiles. They dive down as the surface is a solid layer of ice. I think they mention it's 16 meters thick. As they dive down, they have to evade some icebergs falling. Gia Ever wants to interview Saqua. Caecilia gave him access to everything. Boone allows it, but he must be present. He brings some alcohol to interview. We learn that Gia Ever was dishonorably discharged. They toast before the old man goes into his story. Even Boone doesn't know the full story himself and is curious. He and his mobile suit squad moved into a rainforest in Central America. He then ran into a Zaku-1 painted white. It instantly took out his men. He ran away. While fleeing, the white Zaku took out his arm, and ever since that moment, his real arm never moved again. He thinks that Saqua was the Zaku pilot. The white Zaku is the old man's white devil. The 1 Year War is also really weird because he's talking like this was a long time ago, but it was only like 3 months ago, which proves my theory that 20 years happened during that 1 year. Gia Ever also mentions that he is a Dion, and she killed his brother, but he thinks his brother is an asshole, and he isn't bothered by it. He says all he feels towards her is envy. He's just focused on the fact that she is the white Zaku pilot. Boone finds Gia Ever frightening in a way that he can't describe. The red alert goes off. A white Gogg approaches them. Boone will be freed from his demons in 21 days. Boone says, "Alright, Gia Ever, I know I just watched you get really weird with our prisoner, but I'm gonna leave you here while I handle this emergency." Not the wisest decision, but they leave in peace. Boone will head out in his mobile suit. Gia Ever thinks that this white Gogg is no coincidence. Boone gets into the marine and submerges. He asks Uzo to lend him their strength. Her body fuses with Boone to become a Cronenberg monster. The sailor thinks that all of this, the military, the subs, life itself, is all a prison. But Boone still has the will to carry on. Uzo's new upgrades are added to his mobile suit. There is no official name for this Zaku Marine upgrade, but it appears to have 6.2 missile launchers in the shoulders, 6.2 missile launchers in the forearms, an upgraded harpoon gun, and additional fins for underwater movement. He stops the Gogg and begins his torpedo assault. It doesn't penetrate the Gogg's armor. It rushes past him and heads towards the ship. Boone harpoons the back of the Gogg and goes for a ride. He is able to whip himself out of the water. Then he anchors himself, forcing the Gogg to surface. The Gogg pummels the Zaku and buries it in the ice before chasing the ship once again. It slashes on the Yukon, causing a fire on the starboard side. It goes from freezing cold to uncomfortably hot. The ship takes on some water. Gia Ever thinks it is just like that time back then. He grabs onto his dead arm. Boone tells the Yukon to fire torpedoes on the ice so he could escape. It is risky and he might get hit in the process. Also, is it Yukon or Jukon? I call Yuta from Moon Gundam Yuta and not Juta, so it makes sense. I hate names. I hate Tamino. He's the one who started the dumb name trend. When heat rises past a certain wet bulb temperature, the human body can't breathe. Wet bulb temperature is the lowest temperature an object can reach through evaporation, which is around 95 degrees in freedom units. This is when brain damage sets in and you start to see and hear things. They have to focus on breathing. The tables have turned. Now Saqua acts crazy towards Gia Ever. The old man thinks about her killing his brother and he calls her a demon. She plays with him. If she were a demon, then that means the white dom is after you, old man. There's nowhere you could run. They put helmets on and start breathing exercises. They could resurface to get air, but they will be right in the Gogg's sights. They decide to surface, and they break through the ice. The sub's torpedoes finally hit the ice. Boone is free. He faces off with the Gogg once again. The next chapter just starts off with the battle finished. The ship can't contact Boone. They assume he's dead. The sub shines a floodlight on the Gogg. Water is breaching more and more of the ship. The men are running out of air once again. These poor guys, man. The Gogg tells the captain of the ship to come out. They can't get a hold of Boone. Ameria is acting as commander for now. The Gogg tells her to listen to his commands. Gia Ever realizes that Saqua knows the pilot of the Gogg. It must be Stowe Wildhide. Why does the old man have a database of VFF pilots on the ready? Saqua does happen to know about the pilot. She was interrogated by him in the past, but knows nothing since she left the army. Suddenly, Gia Ever sees multiple versions of Saqua, and he sees the Goggs as gargoyles. He forgot to breathe and is starting to trip balls. The Gogg grabs Ameria and demands that they contact Boone, but they're getting no signal and thinks he may be dead. The Gogg tells the crew to get out of the sub. Connolly is the last one on the ship. He says, "I'm not getting out of the ship. I'm not getting out of the ship, you bastard." He's causing a distraction. Boone makes his appearance. He is still alive. While all this was going down, Boone found the Gogg ship. It happens to be a Lockwood-class ship. Since it's a Lockwood, they know they are trying to steal the Yukon. Or Jukon. He tells the Gogg to let go of Ameria, and he won't put a hole through his ship. The Gogg puts down Ameria and bails. The crew is watching and yells, "Let's go, bitches!" "You just got booned!" Gia Ever wakes up from being passed out. He tells Saqua that he saw her face change when he heard the voice of the Gogg pilot. She doesn't just know the pilot, he is clearly her lover. He looks at his footage from his camera, but it seems to be deleted. She must have deleted it while he was passed out. Saqua says, "You almost ran out of air. Perhaps you were seeing things." She's smooth. The Zaku Marine and the Gogg pass by each other. The Gogg pilot wonders what is stopping him from killing Boone right here. Luckily, he is a man of his word, and the two pass by and pretend they never saw each other. Zaku's come down from the city. It is a nightmare that Boone wakes up from. We will learn that this is actually Saqua's nightmare. Everyone heads to the torpedo room to mourn the loss of some men. Many were crushed when the Gogg attacked. He says the name Chief Petty Officer Dario Carmine's name 3 times. It's a roll call, a ritual where you call out your comrades' names 3 times. If they don't answer, they have been lost to the sea. 6 other sailors were lost. Some drowned, some crushed. 1 was sucked out into the sea. The life of a sailor is brutal. Gia Ever tells Boone his real reason for being on the ship during this mission. Saqua and Soleil are already officially dead on paper, which means it is up to them to kill them once this mission is over. Boone meets with Saqua. They eat some sushi and drink some wine. It's more of a date than an interrogation. The two flirt with one another. She then gets naked and tells him that her scars were from an attack from Zaku's when she was a kid. These are the dreams from the beginning of this chapter. The two kiss and have sexy time. But the entire time, Boone keeps one hand on his gun. She knows that Zeon is going to kill her and Soleil, but he says that he won't let that happen. They are reaching the area where the Gundam was spotted. Boone thinks this is a good time to get a quickie. He will be freed from his demons in 20 days. Amaria was injured during the incident with the Gogg and won't be able to walk for a bit. She is considering giving over command to Boone for now, but Gia Ever says that she must not allow Boone to assume control. He wants her to take revenge for the Dion family. So he lied, this is about revenge. This chapter is written as though it's Boone's captain's log, but he notes that some things can't be mentioned in logs. Like penetration. They finally reach their location and go searching for the White Devil that killed Garma. Their search comes up empty. Boone asks Saqua if there is something they are missing. She says there is no Gundam. She made it all up to delay her death. She knows they are going to kill her and her brother, so she lied too. They bang it out one more time before they ultimately take her, her brother, and the POWs to be assassinated. Gia Ever wants to know the intel on the Gundam, but she says nothing and tells her to kill her. But Boone knows this isn't right and breaks the Antarctic Treaty, so he pulls a gun on Gia Ever. We have ourselves a standoff, but then one POW says, "Screw it, I'll tell you about the Gundam." She is then shot by Boyce. Boyce has been nice to Saqua while a prisoner. It turns out he is a spy. All hell breaks loose. Gia Ever is shot. Boyce guides Saqua to the Gogg, who makes an appearance. It is Stowe Wildhide. Gia Ever was right. He is Saqqua's real lover. They mash tongues in front of Boone, just taunting him. Poor guy can't catch a break. One of the POWs is still alive. Boone asks where they are going. She says Zamrika Island. It's also where the Gundam is located. And that will do it for this episode. At least Boone got to have some sex before he died, so it isn't completely grim for him. Saqua is willing to do anything necessary to survive. Meanwhile, Boone tries to uphold some sense of honor. Also, the life of a submariner might be the worst experience in war, even in an era of space warfare. It must suck, but having water superiority was a necessity during the 1-year war. Next time, we learn more about Stowe Wildhide. He and Saqua want to retake California Base, and we see gremlins used as a metaphor for mechanical failures play out in this series. Simpsons did it. Well, we'll see how it plays out with the Submariners. But that will do it for now, Newtypes. Remember to do your breathing exercises so you don't suffocate. Peace.